All right, hello everyone. Thank you for coming. We today will be talking a bit about topology for game and animation, as the title of the stream suggested, because there is a lot of problems that new people that start doing character art and stuff like clothes or even body mods will encounter, because this stuff bends. By bending, I mean it has a skeleton that controls the movement and it's animated in the game. It's walking, running, sleeping, fighting in a fight. So we need, other than stuff looking good, it has to have certain flow to the where the vertices and edges are for it to work well. Because we will start with like a very simple example that is just a cylinder, like a leg or an arm. So when it has an armature, which is a skeleton, this is a very simple skeleton. It just has a base that moves, snap, that moves the whole thing, moves, rotates, scales, and so on. And no. I just started. You're absolutely fine. Thank you for coming. Can you hear me, by the way? Because that that might be that might be interesting if I was just moving this around and nothing was happening. So good evening, good evening. Yep. Okay. So let's say that this is a leg and we are trying to bend it. Like I made this very simple skeleton. If we have the topology like this, well, it doesn't bend too well because it has no vertices that can move. So if we start adding topology like this suddenly starts looking a little bit better. And if we go even more, this starts to bend nicely. So it needs so if we bend it from like in the plane of this on this picture, it needs this horizontal loop for it to work. It doesn't need quads, because let's remember that animation doesn't really animation like skin weights don't really touch the faces. It's only interested in vertices. So if it's triangulated or not, it doesn't matter. The position of vertices matter. Okay, so it, for obvious reasons now, we want also for it to be kind of, let me get this back. We want this to be kind of even, because otherwise this is not a nice bend, because some stuff is like smooth, some stuff is meh. So we want this to be kind of even, and have kind of like grid structure in the direction where that is needed, because this will work. You can do this. This will work also fine. This will work also fine. So what we are mostly concerned is people, probably, because we are doing characters, we are doing people, or some animals like horses. They also have similar issues, but I don't think we are making horse armor this time. So I'm sleeping on my avatar. Okay. So typical skeleton for a human will have some certain areas that bend more or less, as we might know from anatomy. There are parts like arms and legs that bend. Let me set these to individual origins. Boom. Okay. Like these places bend, and and this. Let me select right bone. This place kind of bends, Not this, not like this. This will hurt. This will also hurt. This won't hurt. This should be fine. Okay. No, it will still hurt. Never mind. Anyway, so the skeleton is, let me use the blue pen thingy. So the skeleton is somewhere like this. The spine is the area of concern, area where there is deformation. The arm is area where it is deformation with fingers, of course, and the knee is an area of deformation, but not the whole thing, because stuff bends at the knee, but other than that, these parts like this stays mostly the same. This stays mostly the same. Same thing happens on arm. So if we analyze the topology of something like a body mesh, we can notice that, let me hide this skeleton for now. We can notice that annotations, trimmer is not prepared. As always, view, annotations, delete. Okay. We can see that that the stuff is arranged in these horizontal lines. Is arranged in these horizontal lines mostly. Of course, it can't be like fully grid-like because of some optimizations and stuff, but it goes like this everywhere here. Here also goes like this. In the mammary areas, it's kind of done like this, because they are round, of course, and they also jiggle. And stuff is mostly grid-like here, because that's the easiest way to get a cylindrical shape. Because we have to remember that spine goes in all the ways around, we can let me turn on the wrong skeleton. It will help if I selected the right one. FF scale. If we do stuff like I'm doing now, just a second. Yes, like I'm doing now, I'm looking backwards or something. We twist this, and of course we bend here in all the ways possible. So yeah, that's why it's important to have something that can deform properly. By deform, I mean deforming by skeleton or armature, which is controlled by skin weight. Okay. So where it does not matter is if something stays static. It can be whatever. It can do whatever. If stuff bends, then we need to look at all these quad thingies, the grid-like stuff. Why? Okay, I'm looking at my remarks. Okay, so the main problems that occur that people are asking questions about is clipping, because if you put clothes on a model, you usually will use something like a data transfer modifier, then try to smooth the weight, and as you call it, fix clipping. But sometimes it does. But why it does? Usually because the stuff that is on the outer layer doesn't align topology-wise with the stuff that is on a higher layer. And we like to make skin-tight stuff, for example, stockings or tights. So it might be nice to start with something like this, then we show when it does work, when it doesn't work. So if we are trying to make something like a quick stocking. Usually, let me just check something. This is this. This is my rig. Okay. You usually start with doing something like making a copy of the body mesh. Stop knees. This is stop chains. Okay. And stop knees. I will quickly join this. I will make a quick one just for demonstration. Merge this by distance, and let me check my screencast keys. It's on. Okay. There won't be much need for this, but if someone wants to see what I'm pressing, then I'm happy to provide. Okay. Generally, how it is made and typically it works is that let me make a material, make this somewhat a little bit transparent, so it looks like stockings, alpha hash. Okay. What you would normally do, okay, I even have animation here, fancy. What you would normally do is make a copy that is cut, apply all transforms, apply visual geometry to mesh. Let me re-add the armature. And people would do something like, people including me, because this is actually a good way to go about it. Add a displace modifier, and this makes it sure that the stuff won't be Z fighting. It will always be on top, but will be just a little bit on the top. And as we can see from our example, nothing is clipping. What did I do here? I probably broken weights on my own mesh, but this doesn't matter for this demonstration. You can see everything works fine, yes? And because stuff underneath is exactly the same thing, it was made from the same mesh. But if we remove something okay, if we remove something like an edge loop on area that is bending, what we get is this can't deform anymore because it has less polygons. So that is when the clipping occurs. When stuff in a bending area has more vertices than stuff that is supposed to be on the top. Or because the weights are different, but we assume that we used weight transfer, or then did them one by hand if someone likes it like this. But yeah, generally this is a case where clipping will happen. Also, for you people that do stuff for Final Fantasy, there is one case that hit me in the face multiple times. Because generally the meshes that we use get triangulated before getting into a game engine, right? Let me display this. Okay, this will be good. This actually shows it quite well. If you get like these very small clips, despite all the vertices being in the same place, and you can't figure out what's the problem. I also had like big brains. This means that the triangulation on this quad is different on both of these, because we can see here this is going like top left to lower right, And the thing that is underneath, it's very, very probable that it goes like internally by Blender, goes top right to down left. So it, let me quickly edit this. I hope I selected the right one. Knife apparently doesn't like too much doing stuff like this. Okay, without the knife I can be smart. Yes, I know how to use Blender, I hope. Okay. So this quad, if we triangulate it like this, you can see nothing clips. If we use if for some reason by the automatic software, automatic modifier, export settings, it got flipped the other way. Rotate. By the way, if you need to flip this, the nice option is something called rotate edge counterclockwise. What it does, it rotates the edge. So you can see only difference between those two meshes is the triangulation. So unless you really have to, I would recommend, if you are doing stuff like this, to triangulate the mesh before. Sadly, it's one of these times, because if it already was triangulated, then it will stay in the same way. And the triangulate modifier, it has few methods to do it. That's one thing. But even on the same method, it will sometimes flip them. It's like not that consistent. Okay, this hurts me a lot, few times. So, but the fix is quick. If it's like one vertice, you just do the rotate edge clockwise, and it will work. It will work fine. Sometimes you kind of, if you kind of you can see this here also. Sometimes you have to do this by hand for like half your mesh. It's not pleasant. Okay, so now we know that that if stuff doesn't agree, then it pokes through. Let me get this back. Get this back. Enough. Okay. No, my undo history is long enough. Thank you. Okay, so to be fair, any skin type shape you make should start as a body cutout. If you can't do it if you can't do it that way, because if you just go and try to, let's say, model this and start doing this using some 3D modeling technique like this. Let's say that this is a pauldron, or not a pauldron, kneecap thing from an armor. It will be a very ugly one, but so take this along normal, this type of thing. Well, you can try to match stuff with with what you had, but it's kind of a pain. And if you transfer weights on this, it's not guaranteed to work, because there are areas here that have like cuts made for a knee that will be a bit hard to approach. Okay. You can make all types of stuff like stockings, panties, or bras just by doing body cutout. Usually you want to use the actual edges that are on the mesh as much as possible, but you can usually do a cut. Like, let's say we were making a bra and we don't like something, you can go with a knife and get the shape that you want. This will, of course, have to be cleaned up afterwards, but borders like this that are made by the manually cut and the inside from the actual mesh will work fine. If you made a cut like this, well, usually you end up with some nasty stuff here, but if you just merge this, it will usually work fine. Okay. This is for skin tight stuff. Yeah. If you are on one fair warning in this also, if you are making something like a garter thingy or like a belt that is on tie, or for example we want a belt here, also try to do this as much as you can, because what you get if you, let's say I will do a quick belt by this method. Let me copy, remove the material so it's not that skinny. Because if we do something like this, automatically we get topology that is aligned to the skin, so it will deform exactly the same. Yeah, and also this will have a clean edge, which is kind of an important thing, because if you start doing stuff like let me subdivide this as an example. I will apply the geometry and add subdivision surface modifier, because yes, this arm isn't like super hot when it comes to amount of vertices here. Hey Sharana, because this game arms aren't that super hot when it comes to the amount of vertices they use, because we don't see the faceting unless we put something like unless we look this way, we don't see the faceting. Yeah. So if you do stuff from this, it will be exactly the same amount of faceted as this. But if you subdivide this, what it might lead to, let me apply this here. Okay, I don't need that right one. This one is needed for me. We scale this a little bit up, yeah. Then we make our ring. You can see that this will be kind of choppy here. Or if you are making stuff in MD, like some freely stuff here, also you want to try to match the amount of vertices on your topology to what is underneath, because this will show, this will make the arm look more low poly than it normally. Okay. Also, good thing about this is making this thing, you automatically, let me attach armature, you automatically get working weights without transferring or anything, because the copied thing will have the vertex groups of the original. Oh, okay. So these types of things, that we do a lot, like belts and stuff. Let me look at what I'm supposed to say. Okay, this doesn't matter that much for stuff that is, let me say this quickly, for stuff that is not skin tight, of course. Let me grab one of my older projects because it will be easier to talk about clothes if they are actual clothes. Not that much, mind you, it's a made outfit. That it's like it was a work in progress file, by the way, so don't mind that some stuff might look out of place. So what do you try to do, for example, for this I need to find the good one. Okay, this stuff that actually it was using a technique of solidify plus weighted normals to get thickness here. If we look here, this will work pretty good. I also use the same technique here, where as you can see, this wasn't made from a body cutout, by the way. I matched this by hand, and it was kind of a pain, I'm gonna lie. But it's worth it because the thing is perfectly skin tight. But some stuff that is not skin tight in a literal meaning, like let's hope I won't show body parts by accident. I will grab the panties too, so will be Christian. Okay. Some stuff that is not skin tight, you also want to match, like those straps, because here this will bend, and like in the demonstration at the start, if they are not kind of, it doesn't have to be precise, kind of the same arrangement, then yeah, stuff will start flipping, and we can try to fix in weight, which can lead to a bit like weird deformation. It's the same with stuff that I actually did a retopology, that I didn't start from copying the base mesh. Stuff like this underwear. It's always good to match the bordering polygons, because this will ensure that no matter what happens, they will deform the same way. Does this doesn't have weight? Okay. Let me see. I should have reels talking. Whoops, not in this file. It doesn't matter. You can see that, especially if you look at the meshes that come from vanilla, you can see from vanilla or at any game dev mesh from an artist, you will see that they match this stuff religiously, way more religiously than I am for like a relatively quick project. But you can try to have at least this level of arrangement, yeah, where if something has to touch skin or anything that is underneath, you can usually make it so it follows. And this will save you a lot of headache later, where after you transfer weights, the stuff starts to clip. Because often only solution at that point is to make stuff less tight, and if you make stuff less tight, then you can see through it, and it's a sad situation for everyone else. This area is like not that crucial, other than scaling between races, which scales this and like rotates stuff. Let me type this new annotation. But this area is very important, because what you want to do, if So unless something is shared always for optimization purposes and for clipping purposes is to match this, because this what's it called in English? Well, the crease that goes between the pubic area and the hip, it deforms, it rotates. And if this gets pulled in a different way, you either show the part that we can't show on Twitch, or if you remove the part that we can't show on Twitch, then you show nothing. You can see like the sky through this, which is also a thing that you don't want to do. Okay. So the other thing is, of course, optimization. Optimization meaning delete stuff that is underneath, because this won't be displayed, and the best thing about spending a bit of time and removing the stuff that is underneath the clothes is that it can't clip if it's not here. The polygons that don't exist won't clip, never, no matter what happens. This is the very good thing about the whole process. Oh, okay, I cut it. Good. We can show this. Generally, let me turn the topology mode. Oh, now this will look nice. Generally, of course, don't try to cut like straight on the line. You can have a bit of an overhang. You have to be careful so this area is similar, but other than that, you can delete all of these parts that are not needed and they won't click. Okay. One thing while I have this method. Oh, this doesn't have. This does have. Wait a second. This has a mask. Oh, by the way, good thing if you don't want to delete this. If you don't want to delete these faces by hand, then notice that you deleted bits too much. And now you test your stuff in game. Your stuff bends perfectly, but it misses half part of the body that shows in some reason. And then it's quite of a pain to bring them back afterwards. But what you can do, and what I tend to do, Blender has something called mask modifier. Mask modifier, well, mask. It means you get a vertex group, called I called it group, very descriptive. And if we go to white paint mode, and let me turn off the modifier because it hides the stuff that. Actually, this is like I did both. At this, I was a bit sloppy, but the right breast is left, so it's okay. What it does is basically what is painted red in a vertex group, or what is painted not painted in vertex group, depending on this button, it will hide this. And since this is a modifier, we can turn it off and on. Yes, and if we notice that I deleted a bit too much, and now I have a void that sky shines through, we can just turn it off for a second, then grab a brush, weight 0, and unpaint it so a little bit more is shown. And now it shows this for some reason. 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. And now it shows more. So it's a very convenient method to hide stuff underneath without having to, well, without having to do it destructively. At the end, of course, you can apply this modifier and the further modification, but Before you are 100% sure that you did everything right, it can stay as a modifier and be modified. Okay. By the way, if you are making clothes and they don't want to be sheer, and you are sure they won't be sheer, you can be kind of bit sloppier with this, like I am here, because this was not going to be sheer. I used a topology that would just deform well, and well, if you wanted to make this transparent, it probably wouldn't work because, well, a fragment of this part that uh, that won't be named is fucking true. But it's okay because normally it's hidden, right? Okay. Mm. Good consider. It happens in this area specifically in FF001. Okay. In models that land in game, if you don't remove the breast that is not visible, it often leads to problems because we have this thing called breast slider, right? You have this. Of course, this is not a value from the game. I just did this for demonstration purposes. If it's not removed, it can give you clipping like this, and it's especially annoying when it happens only on some races and stuff like this. And if you have stuff underneath, you can try to fix it with white paint, but the more you try to white paint fix this, the weirder the deformation will get, especially since you are doing it in one place and other spot gets deformed different way. And well, this is a problem, right? But other than that, this deforms pretty nicely. I did this as a grid, so it works nicely. So always the best solution is to just hide it. This was not ended from what I see in this work of progress because I haven't removed this. Let me actually see what I did. Best position, okay, this, okay. If we want to fix this quickly with a mask modifier, we just put your weight to 1. Are we in right vertex group? Yes, we are. Why doesn't this... Why my brush hates me? Because I'm in vertex selection mode. Okay. This. Here we go. Don't do this to me, Mr. Blender, please. Again. Wait a moment, because this, which one it doesn't like? Okay. Yes, sometimes when you are trying to do white paint mode on a deformed mesh and you have a lot of modifiers, some of this kind of don't want to cooperate. In this case, draw, weight 1. I need to double check what I did. I said got blend to multiply. Okay. Now we can paint. Okay. I usually use like different modes for this. Okay. Mix will work fine. Okay. We can paint. So we see that this clips. So we just paint this out a bit. And now we painted out too much. So set weight 0. So maybe like this. Yeah, we painted out a little bit, so it removed like one triangle, and now it is it is fine. If we did this by just deleting vertices, it's a lot of undo or copy this from other copy or of the mesh. It's a bit of a pain. We can also get rid of the nipple here like this. So it's very nice method to do this. I will recommend. Okay. So this, if I was making this as let me unboob this. That's how. If I were making this to be transparent, then I would have to. Okay, mask is removed. I would probably have to just go with a knife. I will pretend I'm doing this because it takes a while. I would go with a knife, then got a line like this on the body mesh, of course less wonky. Then like the rest of the needed part, this can be modeled through later. Then you would just grab whatever is needed, like interior of this, copy separate, and start working with from this part. So it would have the same type of topology. You can of course just do this polygon after polygon, but this is a bit faster. What else do we have here? There are areas that let me turn on the. Wait, this is the right FF scale. Okay. There are areas like not this bone. Post position. Okay. The positions, things like clavicle bone, where stuff generally, if we move our arm up above certain position, clavicle gets involved. We can't like move this indefinitely without moving the clavicle. But I'm digressing. What I wanted to focus on is stuff like these frills, because there is one important thing. By the way, I was sloppy here. I didn't match this, but they can kind of be like this, and in final version, nobody will notice. You can pull them a little bit to the belt. It will be fine. Because this would require me to add a lot of needless topology to this. So you can kind of junk this in that way too. Sometimes it's perfectly fine. But what I wanted to talk about here is how to make stuff stiff. In this case, the stuff is defined by. I'm just checking. Is defined by this field. Okay. So how we would normally go about it is we would grab the. Let me apply visual geometry to the mesh because this had a shape key and I don't have an add-on. FF scale 001. Okay. Let me just quickly check something because how much did I? And okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. How much time I have? I have way more than enough time. I was scared that I have prepared to not enough material. Okay, now I did. This will be easier like this. Okay. Deform armature skeleton that I'm using, the 001. As you can see, this has a nice topology. I did this in by Marvel's designer method. But I assume that I have no weights on this for now. I will even do this by removing them, just for demonstration purposes. And I go okay, I have body, so edit that data transfer, stop cut, vertex data, vertex 0, nearest page. This has been shown in like 20 different tutorials for FF, so I just use standard settings. I don't do anything fancy here. Really. Okay, apply. We have some weights. Yes, a lot of them. It copies all vertex groups. And now let me. Okay, this kind of behaves, but that this goes like this. Now when I move the hand down, it kind of feels a bit glued to the arm, right? Because it caught it literally grabs the stuff from the nearest thing. It doesn't have any smart to know how stuff should deform. So how you can, for example, pretend that this is stiff and still attached to the body at one point. The quick trick to do this is not don't try to use weight point for this. I mean, you can, but for stuff like this, there is a very simple trick that does this pretty fast. Because edit mode has weight edit, right? And as you can see, you can do this by the vertex. This should be on in edit mode. What you can do, and this is quick, if the topo is good, by the way, you can just select this verb that should be pinned to that is next to the body. That is next to the body. And if you go copy, it will if you copy, it will copy this weight values to all on the way. You can go through this pretty quick, basically. I'm not going to do the whole thing because it takes like 10 minutes, but you can see what it does. It stops being deformed like the arm. It starts to be deformed like the part that is attached here. By the way, the straps also try to match them. There will be no clipping. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm saying it doesn't have to be perfect. Just so it doesn't deform like very weirdly, because actually, let me see if it would help if I select the right bone. Text, Y, Z, yes, Z. If we see this now stays okay. If we start adding stuff, it will also kind of work okay. But if we start to remove stuff, like make this very low poly, we can see, oh, this can deform more because it has the vertices here. It has this edge loop. This can't bend further. This can bend further because there is no geometry here. Yeah. Some people do this from body cutouts. I usually don't bother because it most of the time needs some knife action anyway. to do this, so might as well just just extrude the polygons, and it will be alright. Okay, what else do we have here? For stuff like this that is not skin tight, you can be pretty sloppy, but it doesn't hurt to not be sloppy. It just takes a bit of time. Let me RX. Oh, this. I wonder if this has weight. No, it doesn't. Okay. No, it doesn't. For stuff like this, yeah, this wasn't. This was before magic. Okay, because I'm getting distracted. This you have kind of a bit of freedom about what to do. Just don't be too much. Also, have vertical and horizontal lines, as I told you. And that's it basically when it comes to making stuff that will deform well. Use a body cutout if you can. If you are making something that you don't have weights to steal from, or that doesn't or that doesn't have anything underneath, go for stuff that has lines where the deformation is expected. So things like this horizontal and vertical setup, or horizontal and vertical set. By the way, if you have stuff that bends and you don't want it to bend, because that's the other side of the coin, let me see if this is. I will quickly data transfer this, because if you data transfer on something like this, okay, no shape keys, data transfer. If you data transfer or something like this, you usually, if you go even nearest vertex, but if you go with standard settings, right, she starts walking. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Not like this. This is 001. It will be easier to do it this way. Ubi, yes, Ubi. What you see is this problem, yeah, because there is a big gradient of weights in this area, because this is where head bone, neck bone, and the spine bone and the clavicle bone interact all with each other. If you transfer weights, you get this mess. So the way to quickly fix this is this deformation. You sometimes might have to have this deformation, because otherwise it will clip, or you have to put it further away. It's a very delicate balance, but if you want to make it stiff nevertheless, you can also select one of vertices, one that is closest to where you fancy it behaving, and do the copy active vertex to other selected vertices. And as you can see, this stays stiff and attached to the bone. Of course, it will at some point get like some deformation, but yeah, like this, because rotating stuff more than 360 degrees does weird things. Yeah, but it will be. It's very important for stuff like if you are making buttons and the buttons are not stiff, then it kind of sort of looks like buttons are breathing when you are in an idle, and you want to avoid that. Some of this will sometimes happen also because there can be a scale on a bone in a breathing animation that you can't do much about it. but you can do for stuff like rotation and stuff. So if you have some buttons here on the line, just grab a button, select a vertex, no, copy weight. Grab a button, select a vertex, copy weight. This way they will be stiff and attached to the part of the body that they need to be from. Yeah, but I mentioned briefing because in briefing you let me clear parent of demonstration. This breaks skeleton. Don't do this. It breaks skeleton. Don't do this. But I just need to know that. Oh, okay. So briefing animations will have something like this. Maybe on the lower part a bit more, but have something like this to imitate that you are briefing by scaling stuff. That's how they do them. So that's why the buttons are sometimes behaving weirdly, even in vanilla assets. Okay, we have 2 minutes left from the main presentation. I think I covered mostly what do we need to know. Let me go back to the body example for a second. Yeah, this bends, the body bends. If you want to learn more about stuff in topology, like these weird cuts that are being made here, these reductions and stuff, maybe I will talk about it at some other point, because most topology tutorials that are on the internet are not game targeted. It's somewhat obscure knowledge, the game targeted stuff, because for what you do for stuff like VFX or generally rendering that uses subdivision, you get all these no triangles, no nothing, and for game you kind of break these rules for optimization purposes. Okay. So thank you for listening for now. If someone has some questions, I deserve like 15 minutes at the end of the stream for this. If you don't have any questions, you are basically free to go, and thank you very much for watching.